Where would we be right now if EA didn't waste nearly a decade on Star Wars games? That's the big question that we want to answer in this video. Given the optimistic future of Star Wars games under the Lucasfilm Games umbrella, it's hard not to be hit with the frustration that we're still some time away from really being in the middle of an amazing time for Star Wars game fans. Because realistically, we should be in a golden era of Star Wars games right now, but we're just not. We're in probably the most deserted Tatooine desert wasteland, and it just should not be that way. Now, I decided to make this video because one of you guys mentioned in light of the Star Wars Eclipse announcement that the future of Star Wars games is looking insane, but it's frustrating that we're getting games announced constantly, but we're just not getting any games at the moment. It seems like a new game gets announced and it's just like, yep, just add another one to the list, but what are we doing now? That answer is obviously nothing. So I've decided to throw this video together to discuss what could have been for Star Wars games under EA, because believe it or not, there was a time where EA had Star Wars in the grip of their hand. They had all the opportunity under the sun, all the potential to be capitalized on, and for a moment there, it looked like they were actually going to be utilizing all of that potential. But as we all know, they threw it away and are now left with the reality that they no longer hold all the cards when it comes to Star Wars games. They need to compete with other big players in the gaming industry that actually seem to value Star Wars as an IP. But what if we never even got to that point? What if EA actually done what they should have done the entire time? Where would we be? Well, let's get into that and answer that question. But before we do get into that, we do have a quick sponsor for today's video. This video is once again brought to you by ownersaber.com. These guys make amazing high quality lightsabers, and they're currently running a Christmas special for 20% off all lightsabers, and it's coming to an end. All lightsabers will be 20% off until December 20th, so not long to go. Don't forget, I do have a 10% discount code for you guys. That code is Ozzy, so use that at checkout for a discount. And of course, a big thank you to ownersaber for sponsoring the channel throughout December. So let's go back to when EA took control of Star Wars games. It seems a match made in heaven, the biggest entertainment IP teaming up with the biggest game publisher. It's gotta mean games coming left, right, and center. It's gotta mean big budget AAA titles. It's gotta mean some goddamn games actually get made. Well, in EA's early days of the Star Wars IP, it actually seemed that that was the way things were going to go down. We of course knew that the Battlefront franchise was going to get rebooted. We knew that there were several other Star Wars games that went into development, including semi-open world games, huge single-player action-adventure titles, Battlefront spin-offs, all of that potential, and we got one of those games. And that was Star Wars Battlefront, an underwhelming, shallow game on launch that got EA off to a terrible start with Star Wars games, but having said that, it got them off to a great start financially. But the red flags were up with EA's tenure of the Star Wars IP so early on it's not funny. The amount of Star Wars games that were cancelled by EA, the same people who greenlit those games in the first place, was just flat out ridiculous. You know, sometimes games go into development and things just don't work out. Things change, things evolve, you know, no harm, no foul. But then you have potentially, and I quote, the best Star Wars game ever made cancelled deep into development because EA wanted their games to be more like PUBG. But they never even went anywhere with that anyway. There was no Star Wars Battle Royale game. It was like, oh yeah, we're cancelling this game because PUBG and Battle Royale is the trend at the moment, but we're not actually going to make games on that. We're just going to cancel this one and not doing anything. Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Not to mention EA shutting down a bunch of studios who were working on Star Wars games. Like, imagine for a second if even half of those cancelled Star Wars games actually came out. Imagine how good things would be. EA probably would still have full rights to the Star Wars license. Now, as for those cancelled Star Wars games, let's do a quick rundown. Project Viking, a Battlefront spin-off. This game would have come out nearly a year ago if it didn't get cancelled, and boy did we need it. Project Ragtag, the quote-unquote best Star Wars game ever made according to the game's producer, Zach Mumbach. Project Yuma, a game that was cancelled because Battlefield Hardline was struggling and then ideas transitioned over to Project Ragtag. Project Orca, which was the scraps of the cancelled Project Ragtag. Yeah, they cancelled that too. And who knows, there was probably a lot more games that we don't even know about. Either way, more games were cancelled than released. And game cancellations isn't even where the wasted potential stops. I don't think anything says a waste of potential more than Battlefront 2. If you look up a waste of potential in the dictionary, you will see Battlefront 2 right next to it. A game that had so much promise and could have carried things for Star Wars games for so long if they monetized the game the right way. but it was just cancelled and forgotten about like it was nothing, despite being stupidly popular and months after its cancellation bringing in 19 million new players over a weekend because it was free on the Epic Game Store for a couple days. But apparently that's not a sign that EA should care about it. I still to this day think EA cancelling Battlefront 2 was the nail in their own coffin. EA literally nailed their own coffin shut when it comes to Star Wars games. Having said that, there is one big outlier here, and that is Jedi Fallen Order. I have not got a bad word to say about that game. EA butted out and just let Respawn do their thing, and lo and behold, it was without controversy and universally praised. So much so that EA greenlit it to be a franchise, which they are supposedly still doing but are taking a very weird amount of time to announce it officially. And Star Wars Squadrons, I mean, yeah, it's a game, it exists, I think that's about as far as it goes. Squadrons should have been made, yes, but, and it's a big, thick Obi-Wan sized but, it should have been made to coexist with Battlefront 2. The game would have gone down a lot better among general audiences if that were the case, because whether EA liked it or not, Squadrons was the unfortunate replacement for Battlefront 2 because there was literally nothing else for Star Wars fans to go to. That's just unfair on Squadrons. And it got smacked pretty hard by a lot of people who were left with a bad taste in their mouth because of Battlefront 2. Overall, the downfall of Star Wars games under EA was literally a calamity of avoidable mistakes. I'll throw this up on screen. This is what we got from EA, and this is what we could have got. What could have been for Star Wars games right now. You are looking at it. Looks pretty damn good to me. Maybe it's because I just watched Spider-Man No Way Home, but I'm just imagining like a multiverse where EA actually didn't ruin their own chances at succeeding stupidly well with Star Wars games, and all these games came out. I wish that were the case because we'd probably have a Battlefront game right now. We'd probably have an open or semi-open world Star Wars game or two. We'd probably have a Battlefront spin-off, all to go alongside the 4 games they released anyway. Now, we probably will be in a position like that in 3 to 4 years, but I mean, Star Wars fans have been waiting for a good time for 2 years now already. Things haven't been good for Star Wars games in the slightest since 2019, in terms of actually having games to play. And we're heading into 2022, and we're still years away from things actually being where they should be right now. It's pretty nuts to look back at just all the horrible decisions that EA made with Star Wars games and just wondering what could have been. They had everything right on a plate for them. All the potential in the world, and they threw it away like it was nothing. And all of it for what? Battlefield 2042? I guess that worked out well for them. So guys, that's taking a look back at what could have been for Star Wars games, where we probably should be right now. It sucks because EA had a really good thing going for them, and we got glimpses of it with Battlefront 2 coming back and Jedi Fallen Order being just a banger of a game. But a calamity of bad decisions, and here we are. Lucasfilm Games are the future of Star Wars games, and EA are just an afterthought. Pretty crazy how things have changed. So guys, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and keep an eye out on the channel because I have something pretty exciting for Battlefront 2 coming very soon. But that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.